Good morning, everybody. This is Pramod Jaiswal. This is my third video in Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 1. Last time we had discussed about Antonio's sadness and how Salarino and Salanio were trying to do the guesswork. We have already discussed what Salarino has said. Now, let's see what Salanio has said. Believe me, sir, had I such venture forth. Now, this is Shakespearean language, but this also pertains to had I such venture forth. Now, in conditional sentences, you always get question: had I gone in the party, I would have saved you. This is had I gone. This is past perfect, and this is conditional sentence. It is also written in this manner: if I had gone, in the party, I would have saved you. So while teaching literature, if I come across something difficult in grammar, this is conditional sentences, and you will sometimes get in transformation of sentences as well, or even in completive examination. So, had I such venture forth, the better part of my affection would be with my hopes abroad. Means he wants to say that if I had such ventures, means such business, so the better part of my affection, means the major part of my mind, would be obviously tossing or would be out in the sea, thinking about, be with my hopes, means I would be hopeful, I would be doubtful also about my ventures, about my business. I should still be plucking the grass. Why is Salanio says plucking the grass and see which side the wind sets? The thing is, what he wants to say is this, that he plucked the grass and drops in the wind to see the direction of the wind and the intensity of the wind. If it is very strong, he would be worried that the strong wind out in the sea, it might be a tempest, it might be a stormy weather, which might wreck the ship. That's why he is worried. He would be plucking the grass to know where sits the wind. Sits the wind means in which direction and how much intense the wind is. Peering in maps, and he says that he would be looking in the maps for harbors, safer places, channels, where his ship could be harbored so that it could remain safe. And every object, and he is looking at the glaciers or cliff or rocks which might wreck the ship, looking at every object that might make me fear misfortune, means it might bring misfortune, means bad luck to his ventures, to his business. Out of doubt, and thinking this, being doubtful of such instances or such occurrences, makes him sad. Now, once again, Salarino gives a very lengthy speech regarding his giving many 3-4 instances in order to justify that why Antonio is sad. He says, my wind cooling the broth is soup. He says that when I am cooling my soup, that wind which I am blowing, that wind reminds me of the strong wind which might be blowing out in the sea, and which might harm his ship, which might wreck his ship. Would harm a wind too great might do at sea. I should not see the sandy hourglass run. What is sandy hourglass run? You see? This is made of filled with sand, and the sand passes through, and this is sandy hour. This is made of glass. So, thinking this hourglass, which is filled with sand, he thinks of, I should not see the sandy hourglass run. Why? Because I should think of shallows and of flats. And he should think of the shallows means shallow land where the base means land is visible and the flat land sea beach. And see my wealthy Andrew. Andrew means ship. His wealthy means laden with cargo, laden with good spices and rich and costly materials. Docked in sand. Docked in sand, what is the sense of docked in sand? Means stuck in sand. Wailing her high top, lower than her ribs. Now you see, just I would like to draw the ship. You see, this is the mast, and this is the boat. I see, and this is called the sail. This is mast, and this is sail, and this is the side of the ribs. When it topples, the mast touches the ground, and the ship is like this. That is what Shakespeare wants to say. That when the ship is docked, means stuck. Docked means stuck in the ground. Andrew docked in sand, wailing her high top lower than her ribs. Ribs is called the side, the stern side of the ship, that is lower down, and it seems that the mast is kissing its burial ground. Kissing means touching the ground, as if it seems that it is kissing its own burial ground where the dead body is engraved. Now, third example he gives, should I go to church and see the holy edifice of a stone? He doesn't like to go to the church because that stone of the church would remind him of the stone and rocks and cliffs out in the sea, which might be harmful for his ship. Thinking that even the side of his vessel, if it gently touches the rocks, his ship might be wrecked. And not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks, which touching but my gentle vessel's side, if it slightly touches the side of the vessel, it would be wrecked, it would be destroyed. Would scatter all her spices, the spices which is laden, which is loaded on the ship, will be scattered out in the sea, and the mast and this sail would enrobe. The word enrobe. You see, I am in a habit of giving you beautiful words. Enrobe means other word synonyms is clad or garbed. That might be useful for you in the later stage. Synonyms, dressed. So, and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks, which touching but my gentle vessel's side, if it touches, the ship would be wrecked and all the spices would be scattered out in the sea, and enrobe the waves with portly sail, with the silk. The sail is made of silk, that shows its richness. Would scatter all her spices on the stream, enrobe the roaring water with my silk. And in a word, now in brief, he wants to say that in a moment he was a wealthy person, very rich person, and within a moment after shipwreck, he is destroyed, he is bankrupt, he becomes penniless, worthless. So, in a word, but even now worth this, and now worth nothing, now he is worthless. His all money is destroyed. Now thinking this sort of thought, shall I have the thought to think of this? Means, shall I have the thought of such thinking? And shall I lack the thought? Lack, there are another beautiful words for lack is deprived of. Deprived, deprived of. Mark the prepositions also, which is helpful, or bereft of. This is also preposition which is useful for you. So this also is synonyms for lacking. devoid, devoid, devoid of. So, shall I lack the thought that such thing if be chanced? Means, shall I be deprived of that thought that is that I should not think that if such incident occurs, by chance means would make me sad. Obviously, if one's ship is wrecked, would make him pensive, would be make him in a very sad mood. But tell not me. So, what he derives from all his giving reasons, what he ensues, what he infers, derive, infers, ensues. You see, these are good words. You go on jotting down these. This will increase your diction and vocabulary, which is very good for your writing. So I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. So obviously he is thinking about his business, and because of these reasons, as he inferred or ensued, that these are the reasons why which makes him sad. So this is enough for today. If you like my video, please push the button of like and subscribe for me. We shall see you next.